Hi. Okay, so, well, look, I just took my hair out, my braids, since the last video, which was not that long ago. So, I can't go outside because of the humidity. But, my hair is going to shrink eventually. It ain't going to last like this. But I'm going to try to plait it tonight, hopefully. But yeah, finally, I'm letting my hair breathe because, ooh, like that needed to go. And I only had my hair done for like 2 weeks or so it grew pretty fast. I guess that's what jumbo cornrows or a hairstyle like that would do, but dang, like all that new growth just needed to be taken out and looking all like this. I'm gonna be a narcissist, so let me just go back so you can see my full dinosaur glory. Like this is like some dinosaur type of hair, like some triceratops or whatnot. Okay. Alright, so I wanted to make this video about Dope. I want to review it. I had recorded a video, part one of it, but then I accidentally deleted it. So, way to go, Kara. But Dope, honestly, the movie was pretty good. I actually liked it. It was simple. It wasn't anything that made me seething at the top of my head because, although there were some issues with the casting choice of the girls, Kiersey Clemons, Zoe Kravitz, and Chanel Amon, I don't honestly think that it takes away from the movie. It wasn't distracting the way Straight Outta Compton was for me. And I saw Dope weeks before I saw Straight Outta Compton this weekend. But the movie, it was fairly enjoyable. I can see myself buying it on DVD and watching it with friends, having good laughs. I like the hip hop reference. I really thought that it was funny how ASAP Rocky calls Malcolm out by saying, the Blueprint came out in 2003. What the F are you talking about it being a 90s album? But the Blueprint came out in 2001 because I was for sure that Girls, Girls, Girls did not come out when I was in the third grade. I was in the first grade when I was jamming to that song because that is a 2001 classic. So how can the Blueprint came out in 2003 when Girls, Girls, Girls song Cry and H to the Izzo came out in 2001? And then Malcolm also got it wrong when he said a Public Enemy album came out in the 90s when actually it was the 80s. Like, how can you just mistake a Public Enemy album coming out in the 90s? I believe, I'm not sure if it was It Takes a Nation or if it was Fear of a Planet that came out in 1990. But one album came out in 1990 and then the other came out in 1988. But some hip hop head you are, Malcolm, like you don't even know your facts right. But basically, Malcolm is friends with two people, Jib, who is a non-black Latino, and Diggy, who is a lesbian. And honestly, I liked her character. I thought Kiersey Clemons would be the least favorite character of mine, but I actually thought she was interesting. She was funny. She was cool. I liked that she slapped the white boy every time he said nigga. That was awesome. She was so cool. I really liked Diggy, and I think I liked her so much because they didn't go the cliche route of her being, a cis hetero tomboy. Like she was actually queer. She wasn't just your cis het girl who would eventually fall for the main character. Like no, she was queer. Like she was a lesbian. So I really liked that. I thought that her character was complex. I thought she was multifaceted, and she just had some killer lines as well as ASAP Rocky and Quincy. I feel my three favorite characters in the movie were ASAP Rocky. No, Quincy was first, and then it was Diggy, then ASAP Rocky. I don't even really fuck with ASAP Rocky like that because I used to like him, but he has said some pretty ignorant things like, oh, let's end racism by saying let's have mixed children or something. Like in order to end racism we must have interracial relations, which it's ignorant for obvious reasons and I won't get into that. And ASAP Rocky has said some pretty ignorant things and sexist things about dark-skinned black girls not needing to wear red lipstick. But whatever, on to the review. It's just about these three kids who are trying to get the money for drugs to this guy because ASAP Rocky accidentally leaves a backpack full of drug money at the club when the police comes and shoot up the whole room. And Tyga is in that scene where he is talking about drone strikes and Al Qaeda and all of that. And then as soon as I see Tyga, I'm thinking, shoot him, shoot the pedophile. Sure enough, the police come in, they shoot him once, he doesn't die, but they shoot him a second time, and you know he is dead. You see blood like just shoot out of his chest. So it was pretty brutal, but at least he just had a cameo. Basically, Malcolm finds the backpack with a cell phone in it. It rings, he answers it. These guys answer the phone. One guy has this very eerie Tony Todd-esque voice, and he's like, yeah, if you don't tell me who you are, I'm gonna blow your head off because I can see you from all the way out here. So he's like, okay, this is such and such, I have your money, where can I meet you? And he's talking in code saying, bring back my lunch at this spot, see the red car. So they go to it, but then they get a call from ASAP Rocky, and he's like, hey, do you have my money? And Malcolm says, yeah, I'm bringing it to your friend. ASAP Rocky is like, what friend? Malcolm is like, your friend with the car, your lunch. And he's like, no, either that's the 5-0 or these are some guys that are going to blow your head off. Either way, you got to run. Do not give them the money. So they run and they put the phone on the bus full of people, and the men come into the bus where Malcolm's mom is driving it. And I was so scared. I was like, please do not shoot her, please. A lot of times when I watch these types of movies where it involves gangs, I'm just hoping no black person gets shot, because likely they will get shot. And it's pretty triggering to me, for gang violence and all that. Even though I was never, brought up into that type of environment. But just seeing movies with interracial violence like that, it's just very triggering. So I was just hoping, like, please don't shoot this black lady that's driving the bus. They don't. They see that the phone is laying there, so they can't track them. And I'm sitting there thinking, why these MFers got all this technology? Like, these are some savages with this technology stalking people. Like, these people are dead. They are dead. So they go to this house, this nice mansion, okay? Quincy opens the door and he got his edges all laid, like, with this little scarf. I'm like, ooh. He opens the door and then you see Chanel Iman come out in her robe. And no, Chanel Iman opens the door first, I believe. Or I don't know. One of them opens the door. Quincy takes a look at her and says, why are you all butt-ass naked? And I thought they were a couple, but no, they were siblings. I was thinking, yeah, no, but whatever. So Malcolm tells Jalil, which is Quincy's character's name, that they need to return something to his father, and then his father happens to be the guy who is responsible for his interview, as well as returning the lunch. And Quincy is all cool, like, oh, okay, I understand, he's not here, but, we can chill. So they come in, they record some music, because the three people have a band called The Orioles. They're called the Orioles because they like certain artists, they make good grades, and they just like school. So apparently that makes them white. Whatever. And then Chanel Iman's character, Lily, is giving eyes to Malcolm, and she's trying to seduce him and all of that. And she is a Molly addict. She's binging on Molly, and then she throws up on him when Jalil, Jib, and Diggy leave to get some food, and he's a virgin, and Lily is practically raping him. And it's not funny, but she just straddles him. And it's like, dude, like, first of all, you're asking this guy if he's a virgin. He's like, yes, I'm a virgin, after you tell him to tell you the truth. And then you're like, okay, be ready. I mean, I just find it creepy, like, this whole, okay, virginal guy and this more experienced girl. Like, she is practically a predator. I don't care if she is a hot girl. Like, she is a predator. And even if he wants it, like, she's still sort of manipulating him in a way. So it's just kind of weird. And it's the same thing with guys and girls and that dichotomy. But I'm just thinking, yeah, Lily's kind of predatory, aside from being, a drug addict. But I just don't like how they treated her character, because I feel her character is very interesting, but they kind of pawned her off to these white guys that wanted to see what it was like to have sex with black girls. These are some appropriated white boys who say nigga, and Diggy, of course, slaps one of the guys, this curly headed white boy who is pretty much a white progressive. And he's like, well, how come I can't say nigga, but you guys can? And they explain it to him. And then he looks at Jib and thinks, okay, well, he is Latino. He is not black, so why can't he say it? Jib says, oh, I'm 14% black. Nigga. You ain't no nigga to be saying nigga. You can't, okay? If you're not an Afro-Latino, you just can't say nigga. You being a POC doesn't give you a pass to appropriate Af, and it doesn't give you a pass to say nigga. If you are not black, you cannot say nigga, white, or not, Also, the white boy had a point. He could be 14% black. So that means he can say nigga too. So yeah, he was right. If Jib can say nigga because he is 14% African, then this white boy can say it. Like, that didn't make any sense, because there are black people who are white passing who are like 25% black, or like 1%. Whoops, this thing fell. Okay. I would normally stop this, but this was a pretty good review, so. But there are black people who are like 14% black, or no, like 25% black, or one fourth black that can, claim to be black or whatever, because I don't have a problem with that. It's just when you get to the 1/8 and all that, I don't fucking agree. But, dang it. Let me unplug this, maybe if it, okay. There are black people who look white, as white as this, appropriative character who can claim to be, 1/4 this and still be black. But then, apparently, it's just confusing. I guess it was supposed to be a joke, but, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But with that out of the way, Quincy's character, God, I love Quincy. God. But Quincy was hilarious. Apparently he's a rapper, but I really don't care about his career like that. I just think he's really cute, and I want to see him in more movies. I will check out his music later, but he is so fine, and I want to see him in Brotherly Love with Keke Palmer. He's gorgeous. He is Albie Shore's son, biological son, but he claims Diddy as his father, the man who raised him. And there were some questionable things about Diddy that me and this girl were having a conversation about, with the whole Kim Porter thing and the J-Lo thing and all of that, but whatever. Quincy is trying to be this guy claiming, claiming Oakland or whatever, like, oh yeah, my dad came up from the ghetto and all of this, so it's in my heart. But he's this wealthy, privileged little light-skinned boy, who's kind of fronting like, he's tough, and surely he's tough, but it's this dynamic where you a privileged black boy, you light-skinned, you rich, like, you ain't really knowing the struggle that a dark-skinned black boy like Malcolm is knowing. Stay in your lane, okay? Anyway, he is talking tough at the diner where those men who want the lunch money or whatever pulls Diggy, like just grabs her, because I think they believe that she is a boy, so they just like grab her, and then Quincy's turning around, what the fuck is going on? You got a problem? Like, is there a problem? He gets all tough, and one of the men says, "Hey, we need our money. I want my lunch." Quincy's looking like, "What the f are you even talking about? You want to order some shit," and gets all macho and all that. So then back to the crib where Malcolm and Chanel are trying to get it on, but it doesn't work out. And Malcolm says, "Hey, I need to do this Harvard interview. I need to get an interview from your dad." And she's like, "Oh, I'll drive you." So he lets this tripping girl drive him, all reckless, just to get an interview with her dad. And they stop. She's just passed out. When he tries to wake her up, she gets out of the car, freaks out, and just pees on the sidewalk. Just pees. She pees everywhere. You don't really see it, but you see her running. And honestly, this is Chanel's greatest thing ever. Gosh, like, you sure this is your first time acting, Chanel? Because you are so believable. I love you. But yeah, actually, I was thoroughly moved by this movie. It was problematic in some ways, but I really liked the characters. I really did like how they picked the characters. Like, I thought there couldn't have been a better cast than what they picked. I thought everyone fit with the movie. I think they could have had a dark skinned girl play, but honestly, I think Zoe Kravitz's character could have been replaceable. And I said in the last video that I wouldn't have minded or whatever. I wouldn't have Zoe Kravitz, because she is awesome, but she was kind of lackluster. Nakia just wasn't exciting to me. When I saw that she was in a movie, I thought, okay, Zoe Kravitz is awesome. But then I forgot a couple of times that she was even in the movie. So it was like she was just there. And she is this character who is trying to get a GED. She didn't finish high school. She never went to prom because this guy stood her up. But she was really mad because she didn't get to go to Six Flags like she wanted to. So Malcolm asked her to his prom, but towards the end, she stands him up. But then it's okay, because then he runs into, well, she kind of stands him up for a good reason, because he's being, a jackass. So she's being all cliche, all Sarah Dessen, like, "Oh, just when I thought you weren't like the other guys." Like, I felt they did their relationship from a white gaze. It could have been great, but it just seemed so contrived, hokey. I thought, like, they didn't really do a good job. It was just, oh, okay, like, this quirky, beautiful, light-skinned, conventional looking girl likes this quirky, dark skinned boy who loves hip hop in the 90s. So we can make it work. It doesn't work. If you're going to have that formula, at least have some chemistry. At least in movies like Cooley High, Glenn Durman had chemistry with that white passing girl. He did. Like, I actually believed that he really liked her, and I actually believed that she was someone that didn't really like him at first, but grew close to him. I actually liked their relationship, but that relationship with Nakia and Malcolm just didn't really hit me. It was like, okay, they like each other, but it was just very bland to me. They didn't have any chemistry. She didn't even really appear in a movie. They really advertised Zoe Kravitz, but she really wasn't in the movie. I forgot that she was even in it. So they really did her dirty for that. And they did the Zoe Kravitz fans dirty for that. I even thought, well, Kiersey Clemons isn't really that popular, so I can deal with Kiersey Clemons not ever even being in a movie. But I honestly found myself liking her character and then Chanel's character more than Zoe's character. So they really could have just replaced her with someone like a Justine Skye, because Justine Skye is a pretty dark skinned girl who's like quirky, so why not have the purple unicorn play that character? I really think that Justine Skye would have been good for that role. Anyway,